It is hard to exaggerate just how bad polling numbers look for Labour right now. According to an Ipsos political monitor poll released in September 2025, Sir Keir Starmer is the least popular Prime Minister on record, a poll has shown. Rachel Reeves is now also the least popular Chancellor since records began, it found. The polling is devastating, not only for the Prime Minister, but for the government as a whole, and the implications are historic. The first chart from Ipsos September 2025 Political Monitor captures the stark reality of public dissatisfaction with Britain's political leadership. It asks a simple question: are people satisfied or dissatisfied with how the Prime Minister, opposition leaders and the government are performing? The results are striking. Sir Keir Starmer records just 13% satisfied and 79% dissatisfied, leaving him with a net satisfaction score of -66. For context, dissatisfaction is also high with the government as a whole, with 82% dissatisfied and only 12% satisfied, producing a net score of -70. The story continues across other leaders. Kemi Badenoch, leader of the Conservative, sits at 14% satisfied and 61% dissatisfied, a -47, showing how even the opposition is struggling to gain public confidence. Sir Ed Davey of the Liberal Democrats fares a little better with a -15, thanks to a higher share of neutral responses. Nigel Farage, leader of Reform UK, achieves 34% satisfied and 53% dissatisfied, for a net of -19. While still negative, his rating is far stronger than Starmer's or Badenoch's, which helps explain why Reform has surged in voting intention polls. In short, this chart illustrates deep disillusionment across the political spectrum, but especially with the Prime Minister and his government. Respected pollsters Ipsos began gauging the popularity of prime ministers in 1977, when James Callaghan was the incumbent. By subtracting the percentage of people who are dissatisfied with a prime minister from the number who are satisfied, it finds a net satisfaction rating. Until now, the worst ratings for a Prime Minister had been Rishi Sunak in April 2024 and Sir John Major in August 1994, both of whom had a net rating of -59. The second chart sets this in historical context. It compares net satisfaction scores of past Prime Ministers at the lowest points. Margaret Thatcher sank to -56 in March of 1990 amid the deeply unpopular poll tax protests. John Major dropped to -59 in August of 1994 during the fallout of economic turmoil and Tory divisions. Boris Johnson reached -46 in January of 2022 at the height of Partygate, when anger over lockdown-breaking gatherings eroded his authority. Liz Truss, remembered for her mini-budget, fell to -51 in October 2022. Rishi Sunak hit -59 in April 2024 as Britain endured double-digit inflation and cost of living crisis. Yet Starmer's -66 now stands alone at the very bottom. His ratings are lower than Johnson's after Partygate, lower than Truss's after the mini-budget, and lower than Sunak's during double-digit inflation. This demonstrates not only a collapse in his own standing, but also a historical, unprecedented level of unpopularity for a sitting British Prime Minister. The news is equally bad for Rachel Reeves. Her net satisfaction of -56 is 3 points worse than Kwasi Kwarteng when he was accused of Labour crashing the economy, and 4 points worse than Lord Lamont in March of 1993, when he introduced a tax-rising budget 6 months after Black Wednesday. This comparison is brutal. Reeves now ranks below two of the most infamous modern chancellors, both remembered for policies that contributed to financial chaos. Her poor ratings reflect mounting anxiety over the economy and the upcoming budget, with inflation still stubborn at 3.8% year on year, the CPI in August 2025. Public services stretched and taxes high, Reeves faces an almost impossible task in convincing the electorate that Labour has a credible plan to deliver stability and growth. Ipsos's findings show that the public is deeply sceptical of her stewardship of the economy, and this scepticism is dragging Labour's broader standing further down. Their futures are now intrinsically linked. Starmer is entering the second phase of his government after the resignation of Angela Rayner over her tax affairs forced a major cabinet reshuffle. Most of his top team have been moved or replaced, with only Rachel Reeves at the Treasury and Ed Miliband at Energy remaining in their posts. This makes Reeves' poor ratings even more damaging. She is not only Starmer's closest ally, but also one of the last pillars of continuity in a government already shaken by scandal and instability. If Reeves cannot regain public confidence, it is now hard to see how Starmer himself can recover, since both of their political fortunes are now bound tightly together. A Prime Minister's success has always been closely tied to that of their Chancellor, because nothing shapes public opinion more directly than the state of the economy. Voters may debate foreign policy, leadership style, or cultural issues, but when it comes to casting a ballot, their own wallets and housing budgets often carry the most weight. This makes the Chancellor's record on growth, inflation, and taxation central to how a government is judged. History bears this out. Margaret Thatcher's political revival in the mid-1980s owed much to Nigel Lawson's economic stewardship, while John Major's decline was accelerated by the fallout from Norman Lamont's Black Wednesday. More recently, Gordon Brown's reputation as a steady hand at the Treasury was seen as the bedrock of New Labour's early success. When chancellors are seen as competent, prime ministers benefit. When they lose credibility, the prime minister's authority collapses alongside them. That is why Reeves' historically poor ratings matter so much for Starmer. Economic trust, once lost, is the hardest commodity to win back. Current polls are not looking good for Sir Keir Starmer, and the dissatisfaction is not only among the general public, but also within his own party. According to a Survation survey for Labour List shared with Sky News, more than half of Labour members do not want Starmer to lead the party into the next general election. The poll found that 53% of the party membership want a new leader by the time of the next election, while only 31% want Sir Keir to remain in post. The findings lay bare the scale of challenge facing the Prime Minister. They also add fuel to speculation about potential leadership campaigns. Andy Burnham's name has been floated repeatedly, though as Mayor of Greater Manchester and not an MP, he would face significant hurdles in mounting a challenge. Still, the fact that such speculation is alive at all underscores the depth of disillusionment among Labour's base. The same Survation poll also revealed that 65% of Labour members believe Starmer is heading in the wrong direction, compared with just 26% who said he was getting it right. For a leader who won a commanding general election victory in 2024, this represents an astonishing turnaround in fortunes in less than 2 years. Two major events loom on the horizon that will test Starmer's ability to survive this political storm. The first is the annual budget on November 2026, billed as one of the most anticipated and consequential budgets in modern history. Rachel Reeves must deliver a plan that addresses the public's concerns on inflation, energy, taxes, and public services, while also reassuring markets. Given her historic unpopularity, the stakes could not be higher. The second test will come in the local elections in May 2026. These elections will provide a nationwide verdict on Labour's performance in government. If Labour suffers heavy losses, it could intensify calls within the party for a leadership change before the next general election. Keir Starmer has just become the most unpopular Prime Minister on record, with polls showing historic levels of dissatisfaction. Rachel Reeves is also breaking records for unpopularity as Chancellor. Do you think Labour can recover from this? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget, follow for more updates.